Once upon a time, our village was a prosperous, wonderful place to live. There were many, many plots that people fished out of streams. People festooned many wonderful characters in the smithies. And all these fantastical elements were all combined in our fantastical, wonderful story barn, where the whole community gathered every night to create wonderful tales that sparked generations of hope and wonder and kept our fantastic village rolling along for years and years and years. But one day, a cloud came floating right over our village. And I'll tell you something. The streams, they began to dry up. You couldn't find a plot in there. The smithies, their tools began to become dull, and they couldn't fasten any more characters. And that meant that the story barn, well, the story barn began to shut down. People didn't know what to do. They didn't know where to turn. Our soil had become untillable, and because of that, people became very angry at one another. They began to yell sharply. Where people had been friends before, now there was only animosity. It was a terrible, terrible time at the beginning of those dark, dark days. I'll never forget it. Thank you, Maya. I would be arguing with my wife, and then I'd go down the street and I'd argue with the baker because he didn't have enough bread. And then I'd go down to the post office and there were no letters. You couldn't mail anything. It was a terrible, terrible time. And it's only gotten darker and darker and darker since then. People continually are mad at each other, and it's only grown worse and worse throughout the years. I don't know what'll turn it around. But hey, enough of that. Maybe something will turn up. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you later. Nice to see you, Maya. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
If you're done, let's stuff it. And puppeteers can, Jesse's now puppeteer.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, Maya. The world now is unrecognizable to how it used to be. The world used to be like wearing rose-colored glasses without the glasses. No. Like wearing rose-colored glasses without the lenses. That's what the world was like. Can you imagine it? I bet you can. Now it's like wearing sunglasses in the daytime, inside, all the time. Oh, back then, the world shimmered. It shimmered and shone, and the sunbeams blessed everyone and everything it touched. Can you imagine? Oh, blessed by the world to tell stories. Now there's no sun, so no one tells stories. I don't know what it is. If people just don't want to, because they're lazy, because they're angry, because they're hungry. People feel so many emotions now. And it's not that people didn't feel emotions back then. The emotions felt better. Yes, that's it. The flowers would grow, and all you'd have to do is bend your head down and listen to what they want you to do and write and make. You'd walk down to the river, give it a story, and it would slap you a high five, wave right back. Everyone was grateful. The world was pink and yellow with delight. Now, it's like the world is bruised. Purple and green and yellow, but a different kind of yellow. And black and blue, and that's a lot of colors, but I'm talking about bruised colors. I'd like to think that the world could go back to how it was. Oh, maybe it will, but maybe it won't. It's gonna take something extraordinary to bring back the glow of the stars and the sun and the sparkling water. I would love to hear the flowers sing again. I don't even remember their song. I don't remember song. I don't know. Maya. I don't know what to do. Nana doesn't know what to do. Smithies don't know what to do. Farmers, if you could call them farmers because they're not farming anything, they don't know what to do. No one knows what to do. So I guess we'll just sit here and wait. Cloud, we don't like you. Oh, it didn't like that. Don't talk to the cloud. Anywho, I hope your Nana feels better. Just give her a little temple massage now and then. She always like that. More my cheekbone, but I appreciate it. Okay. Okay. Check it.
It's so nice to have a talk like this with another lady, you know, girl to girl. Oh, it's been such a time since I've been called upon to sit in such a stature. The truth is, I always did admire your Nana so much. She had the most beautiful vegetables in her garden, and she had the most luscious strawberries, and I longed to be invited just for a bit of her strawberry shortcake. But those were the days, right? Everyone wanted the mayor to come and just say, hello, and how are you? And oh, there were parades, so many beautiful parades, and we had magnificent floats of stories that were woven all the colors and all the smells and oh, the sounds. It was like bird song mixed with frog croak and a little bit of light rain and maybe the popping of a parasol. Oh, I long for those days. The truth is, Maya, I choose not to see the cloud most of the time. I just get up and I do my little lipstick and I have a bitty bite of some sugar molecules that I put here under my tongue. And I feel just a little more up for the day. And I choose not to open the curtains because then I'm forced to see, you know. Yes. I prefer to stay young and to stay in the world of roses and beautiful scents and smells. See, in my home, we don't have any of this drab old world. No, I've spruced it all up. Inside, I have it all just glowing with colored glass. I've collected it, you see, colored glass. From the river and when we dig up the fields, and I find it to be most enlightening because it used to be that this colored glass formed flying objects that just floated around in our consciousness, and well, they all shattered when that However, they remind me, they do, of when neighbors helped neighbors, and when there were parades, and when I was beloved and requested for strawberry shortcakes. I'm sorry, what was your question? Oh, your Nana. I am awfully sorry to hear about your Nana. You know, she was a bit above me in school. I'm on the younger side of those who remember, but I always admired her. Did I say she was the best gardener, but also cook? Oh, yes, she made the most delicious things. And she was quite lovely as well. As a matter of fact, I think she might have offered a bit of competition for me at one point, but she sort of let herself go. Anyway, I do like this weave. Do you not? It reminds me of blueberries crushed up with fresh cream from our yaks. It's just delicious if you think about the cakes that we could have had. Well, did I tell you that back then when I was a young thing, boy, you do need a bit of a haircut. I do think that would spruce you up, and those plump cheeks would just go slimmed down a hair if you would just do a little snip snip here and a little curl out the back side. And my goodness, Maya, can't your Nana come up with any other colors for your shawl? Anyway, I was telling you that back when I was a young thing, we didn't have to try to be social. It was just part of our lifestyle to always be out and always be admired. I never knew I'd go into politics. But what happened was my older brother, Ralph, he was really destined to take this place. But he, well, maybe I should say he wasn't prepared. Whereas I've always had a knack for seeing the positive and for keeping things light. And that's what the people want.
Did you know, Maya? I should tell you that the village wasn't always the way it is now. No. Once, long ago, it was quite a lovely place. Oh yes, it was. When you walked out of the house in the morning, the sun just shone brightly. I bet you have never seen the sun shine brightly, Maya. You can't even imagine it. The warmth of the rays on your face and the tingling of your skin. Oh, it's just delightful. So many people wrote stories about the light of the sun. There were all kinds of stories, Maya. Maya, there were stories that grew in tall stalks, tall, strong stalks that blew in the wind and whistled a little bit when they wrestled together, you know. and there were stories that people fished out of the river. They slithered by. They were sometimes mysterious stories, the ones that were in the river, and quite adventurous sometimes. Sometimes pirate stories would be in the river, and stories of people who had disagreements, but then went on an adventure and found their way and became friends again. All different types of stories that our village grew, Maya. And of course, you know that your family was a family of weavers. Oh, those stories were some of my favorites, Maya. Sometimes the weavers would make a tale that was just so intricate and thoughtful. You knew that those people were working together and delighting just in creating a story together. Oh, it was so lovely, Maya. The fabric was soft, And Maya, did you know that everyone helped each other in this village? There's not really many people who help each other now. It's just everyone stays in their small space ever since the... Well, I should tell you, Maya, that one day in our village, there was a notice that came to us that, well, we were becoming more and more famous for the good stories that we were creating and sending off on the river. Yes, we were becoming very popular, and everyone in the village was delighting in this news and celebrating. It was so good when someone came and told us that they wanted us to make even more stories and send them off on the river. Oh, we were all so happy that day, I remember. And so Maya, the story barn, started making more stories. And certain people who were just able to make a certain kind of story more quickly just were able to work faster and to wrap up their stories quicker and to send them off on the river. And quite without noticing, people sort of started to act strange. They stopped helping each other, Maya, and only certain people were able to work in the story barn. Sometimes a person would come to your door and yell at you or speak harshly to you when you were taking up too much time. It wasn't our village's way, Maya, but we couldn't seem to stop. And the stalks of the rustling stories that grew up, they started to make a clanging sound when they banged together, and people were rushing to the story barn and to the river and to the fields instead of walking slowly. Instead of walking hand in hand with their neighbor, they were making sure that they didn't get there first. They were making sure that they didn't get to the best stories. Yes, Maya. And, well, around that time the clouds started to come, and you know the rest, but it's hard to stop, Maya. It's quite and you know now our village has a reputation to uphold. We do make the best stories.